Hey guys, what's up? Because there's nothing happening on my end. My September wrap up. And there's so few books I read this month, and I apologize. Just saying. Okay, so first off we have To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. I absolutely loved this book. It was so amazing. It's a story of Scout and her brother Jem going through the lawyer of Macomb County in Alabama in the 1930s. So we deal with it. This book is really good for dealing with racism and how you shouldn't be charged something simply because of your race than everybody, because it's the South and it's in the 1930s. There's a lot about that. It was really good, and I did a review on it, but it's really terrible because I suck at reviews. And then we have the second book in the series, which is Ghost at a Watchman by Harper Lee, which this takes place several years after To Kill a Mockingbird ends, which is when Scout is 26 and she goes back to Macomb to visit her dad and her aunt, and things happen, and I didn't particularly care for it because it's not because I found that Atticus Finch changed. No, I didn't even notice that in the slightest. I actually probably skipped over that part because I got so bored and so tired I probably fell asleep reading it so many times. But it's just, I didn't like it because it was so confusing because there was flashbacks and not flashbacks, and it never had a good transition. I just didn't really care for it. And the writing was different because To Kill a Mockingbird was in first person, and I like reading first person simply because I write in first person, because I like knowing what the main character feels. But in this, it was third person, and it confused the heck out of me. I had such a hard time grasping the concept of the book, and I didn't really see much of a plot. I just didn't like it. I loved To Kill a Mockingbird. Did not care for Ghost at a Watchman. And then I was in a reading slump for about a week and a half. Then I said, it's time to grab my anti-reading slump book, and Will Grayson by John Green and David Levithan. Well, as I was reading this book, I fell in love with another character. Because John Green has a tendency to make beautiful, beautiful stories that are amazing and perfect, and this was, and it had such a deep message, and I just loved it. And it didn't get me out of my reading slump, sadly, because it was so good and it made me want to read, but it made me want to read not anything I had. And I just all around absolutely loved this book, because this is a story of Will Grayson and Will Grayson. There are two different Will Graysons. One lives in the suburbs of Chicago, and he and his friend Tiny and his friends Tiny and Jane, they go and they do all these fun things, and they go to concerts, and they go and do things, and it's really interesting how they do it. But one night when they're trying to get into a concert, and Will doesn't have his fake ID, he has his fake ID, but it's the wrong year, because the guy who made it didn't check to make sure it was over 21. So he didn't get to go see the concert, so he went to a sex shop, which sounds so bad, but okay, porn store, technically, in the book, it's a porn store. And he runs into the other Will Grayson, whom lives a little bit farther out of, in a small town outside of Chicago, and he goes to go meet his internet friend who lives in Ohio, who goes down to Chicago to meet him. And we find out that the internet friend isn't who he says he is, and we learn a lot about the other Will Grayson and his life. And it's really good, and it seems really confusing because the first chapter is in all normal type and stuff, and then you have the other Will Grayson's point of view, who is in lowercase, so all lowercase, so it's not normal. It's like texting, but so it kind of bothered me, but it was so good, and I kind of got food all over it. I feel so bad. I'm gonna have to buy a new copy, but which is kind of sad because it's October 8th, and I kind of am already halfway through it, is Girl Online by Zoe Sugg, aka Zoella. So I've been watching Zoe's videos for a while now, a good year, because I found her through Tyler Oakley, and she's amazing, and when I heard she had a book, I was like, oh girl, I'm all over it, and I'm really loving it right now. It's really good, because I'm halfway through it, and it's beautiful, because I really relate to this character. But this is the story of a girl named Penny. She goes by an alias online of Girl Online, and she has a blog, and that's kind of where she puts out all her feelings, and she talks about her problems and her life, and it's all anonymous, every name is changed and such. And she and her best friend Elliot end up going to New York with her parents to go set up a wedding, and it's a really interesting story because she meets this boy named Noah who they have a connection, and things happen, and I'm very excited. I'm already halfway through this, and it's beautiful. I love it. I've died from if you like fluffy fanfics, you will love this, because I literally have a hard time reading this during school, because I'm just kind of oh, and my friend's like, you okay? I'm just kind of the fluff, it kills me. And my necklace is messed up. There. And then I'm also going to be reading Cinder by Marissa Meyer. I'm not even sure what it's about. All I know is it's really good because everyone, when I was in 6th grade, read this, and I was kind of I'd rather not. So, in 6th grade, I had a weird taste in books. I don't even know what it was. But this is... she's a cyborg in a world that's about to be taken over by aliens. So this is cool, like a kind of fairy tale mixed with sci-fi, mixed with fantasy. That sounds cool. I'm all over it. I'm all over this book, and I haven't even read it, but I'm so excited to read that. And then last but not least, we have the book that and when I say every, I mean every booktuber has read, and I have not jumped on this bandwagon until now, because I'm going to be reading Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I'm pretty sure it's Maas or Moss. I hear it differently through every booktuber, but this is the story of an assassin, Selena. For Selena, she's an assassin, and she is summoned to a castle, and she comes to not to kill the vicious king, but if she defeats 23 killers, thieves, and warriors in competition, she'll be released from prison to serve as the king's champion. Oh. Yeah, so basically, she's in prison, and she needs to escape, so she has to kill a bunch of people, which for her, being an assassin, is not going to be hard, but I'm really excited because I heard that there's a love triangle in this, so it's going to be really interesting to do this and read this. I'm really excited. So I'm so excited to be reading Throne of Glass because, I hear great things about it on BookTube and such. I'm so excited I finally get to read it. But I love how I didn't know half of what these books were about. That's great. But these are the books I'm going to be reading in the month of October. Let's hope I get to all of these because I'm starting really late, and also I have a ton of homework and a ton of school stuff because, we're now in the second 6 weeks. I get, homework on top of homework on top of homework. But let's hope that I fly through these because they sound so amazing, and I'm so excited to read these. But I love you guys so much, and tell me down in the comments down below what you think about any of these books and what you plan to read in the month of October, because I would really enjoy knowing, and maybe if you're nice, give me a little encouragement to get me to read, because I really need some encouragement in reading and not sleeping my entire day. Literally, I need that. But I love you guys so much, and bye!